Welcome, episode 1 Celtics Talk Radio. I'm your host, new host, Kevin Parrington Turner, aka the Brown Bostonian, and I'm here, revamped as a new host, new show, new look. Excited to be a part of this. Excited for you guys to watch and listen and join me on this journey of talking about the Celtics, talking about the NBA, news around the NBA, and everything that comes with it. It's been a great week this past week. And for all updates, you can check us out on Instagram, YouTube, Celtics Talk Radio. For Instagram, it's C3LTICS Talk Radio, Celtics Talk Radio on Instagram. And I can't wait for you guys to join me on this journey. It's episode 1, so it's gonna be great. First episode back after the All-Star break this past weekend. It was a great All-Star break, in my opinion. No Celtics won the 3-point contest or the dunk contest or stood out in the Rising Stars or was part of the Rising Stars on Friday. So I guess we're gonna go straight into the All-Star game on Sunday. Saturday, Jason Tatum, he competed in the 3-point contest, did well, but the second go he wasn't able to move past Dame Dollar, Dame Lillard finally got his 3-point chip as he deserved it. Matt McClung was a showstopper, had the internet in a frenzy for the slam dunk contest, and that was it. But Sunday, that is where Jason Tatum, in the MVP race, 30-point scorer this season, 6th in the NBA season scoring. He was able to score 55 points, win the Kobe Bryant MVP, All-Star MVP. As you can see at the title of the show, he was able to put on a show, and he did it. Team Giannis, they beat Team LeBron 184-175. Giannis played, I don't even know, 5 seconds, 10 seconds. He scored 2 points and got out because he had a wrist injury that he's going to be checked on. LeBron, he went out. I forgot what quarter it was, but he did a block, and then he went out in the game. So the captains were out. So it left for Jason Tatum and Donovan Mitchell to go all out, and which they did. Donovan Mitchell scored 40. Tatum scored 55. There was a great point in the All-Star game where Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum went at it at the end of the third quarter, where they was going back and forth and traded threes. And Jaylen Brown hit a three in front of Jason Tatum. He did the too small look, the too small gesture, had the crowd going crazy. And then on the other side of the court, all the players, as you can see right now on your screen, they kind of just both guys got their own time to go ISO moment and have the teammates all just clearing out for the isolation. It was a good game. I was talking about it with the producer before the show. He asked if the All-Star game is a joke. He thought it was. I'd like to know what you guys think. Personally, I mean, listen, it's the All-Star game. No one wants to get hurt. I mean, look at the Celtics who stand at the top of the East. It's just like there's more to worry about. So when you got high-scoring games like that, and everyone's a 30, 40-point scorer in the NBA, so you're going to get high-scoring games. No one's going to play defense. No one plays defense anyways in the NBA like that. So you're definitely not going to get any All-Stars that got it from playing defense. Everyone's in the All-Star game is from playing offense. So, no, you're never going to get any competitive, maybe towards the last couple of minutes of the game. But last night, when you got Team Giannis that won like the first 3 quarters, it's not going to be too competitive. But nonetheless, I thought it was a good All-Star game. Both Brown and Tatum put on a show with double-doubles. Brown had 35 and 14 rebounds. That's a double-double. He still scored with his mask on after the cheek injury he suffered earlier, a couple of games ago. And I enjoyed it. I truly enjoyed the All-Star game. And that just kind of signifies of what the season up to this point has been. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown as a duo, working together, doing offensively what they can. And they've been kind of the only ones healthy. I mean, Jaylen Brown towards the end of the first half of the season, he's got an injury, but they've been like the only one kind of consistently healthy, staying in the roster. They missed a few games, but for the most part, they've been good. But also what I want to say over the weekend, Jason Tatum's signature shoe came out. It's called the Jordan Tatum ones. Now, I know to many people, some people might be like, who cares, right? If he gets his own shoe. What people don't know, when someone gets a signature shoe, it means more. It means a brand is really backing you up. It means you have the star power to not only win games and score buckets, but you sell tickets. You have a real fan base. A lot of players in the NBA around the league, they score. They're great players. They might get a double double, triple double. Look at Rudy Gobert the past couple of years. He's never had a signature shoe. Look at it. There's a bunch of players that never had a signature shoe who are really good players. When you get a signature shoe, it kind of cements your legacy in a way. That shoe lives on forever. There's going to be people who buy that shoe. Uh, in 10 years from now, they're still going to have those shoes because that's their favorite player. Kids are going to wear them. There's 4 colorways: the barbershop, the zoo is what I believe. The barbershop is what you're seeing on your screen. The pink lemonade, St. Louis, pink lemonade, barbershop, St. Louis, in the zoo. 4 colorways. It was shown over the weekend to the public. Not too sure yet when it's going to hit stores, but Jason Tatum won on the court. And I think it signifies a big thing about his stardom. I don't know if we're going to get a Jaylen Brown signature shoe. I don't think we ever will, because I think it kind of solidifies different things. And this all-star 55-point game kind of solidifies and reminds you exactly who he is and why he's in the MVP race currently. Will he win it? I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to make my stance on that yet, because I do think Joel Embiid is just balling. And I think there's a lot of other guys that's just been balling. Luka been balling. So many guys in the NBA who's been scoring and rebounding. And, they're not the number 1 team in the East, but we're going to have to still see. So that was it from the All-Star break. Jason Tatum, he also scored 27 in the third quarter. He went off in the third quarter. But as we know, as most people, some people didn't watch the All-Star game, right? Because why? Now it's time for the regular season. The second half of the regular season, where teams will really be fighting for the playoff spot. Teams will really be gearing up. Some teams will use this weekend instead as a way to get their guys healthy. Some teams use it as a way to get their coaching staff ready, make some adjustments. The trade deadline's over. So now this is the team that guys are working with and are going to try to get ready to go into the playoffs. Now, for the Celtics, what does that mean? It means the first half, they're at the top of the East, so some people might think there's not much to work on. But I don't think that's true. They went into the break beating the Pistons. But before that, their injuries hurt them. Al Horford, veteran guy, he's been out. Marcus Smart, ankle injury, he was out. He played last game, but he's been in and out the roster. Obviously, Jaylen Brown, he was in and out, but obviously, see him in the All-Star game, we should expect him to be back this week for the games to come. But for the most part, the Celtics, they're going to gear up for the second half of the season and try to really push and stay at the top of that East, because the Bucks are coming. The Bucks are coming. We saw Giannis, even with a hurt wrist, he still was able to at least score a point and get off the court. That's how serious he takes his craft, takes his game. And the Bucks and the 76ers are coming. They deserve to be in the contention of the contender spot of the Eastern Conference. So moving forward, the Celtics this week is going to have 2 road games. The first road game is going to be against the Pacers on Thursday. And the second is going to be on Saturday against the 76ers. Now, moving forward from this week, what I think is going to happen, I think they're going to beat the Pacers. I think they're going to beat the 76ers. Even if it's on the road, I think that 76ers game is going to be a dogfight with James Harden, Joel Embiid, Maxey. It's going to be a dogfight. I expect that, but I do think the Celtics are going to pull it out. This second half, we can't forget what happened last year before they went in that playoff run to the championship, where towards the end of the first half of the season, going into the All-Star break, they went on a winning streak, and then Jaylen Brown said the energy is going to shift, and the energy shifted. In the second half, they went on a tear. was able to go into the Eastern Conference as one of the best seeds, as the best seed, and they ended up making to the championship. I think it's going to be the same thing here. But in order for that to happen, injuries is going to be impactful. And I think in terms if they want to be successful, they're gonna have to look at the front court. The front court is going to be huge with Mike Muscala, Sam Hauser, who's been coming on as a 3-point shooter. I think defensively he got to step up and you know try to guard on the perimeter a little bit more to switch out on pick and rolls and in the post on the block, all of that stuff. And Robert Williams, he's got to get healthy. He's been good whenever he's on the court. He suffered a knee injury, but it hasn't necessarily been the same when he's gotten back. We haven't seen as many blocks, as many alley oops, as many post moves. I was hoping this season he would show a little bit more of his arsenal offensively, but he hasn't been able to do that. But defensively, he's still there. He still alters shots. He still can block shots. He still can run the floor. He still can catch alley oops. But as far as developing his game, it hasn't really been too much since last season. So the backcourt, we already know what they can do. Derek White has been amazing since Marcus Smart, since Jaylen Brown's been out. Derek White has stepped up crazy. We can't forget Malcolm Brogdon, who's my pick of Sixth Man of the Year. He's my personal pick of Sixth Man of the Year. Best 3-point percentage guy in the league. He's been the big change for the Celtics, in my opinion. Yeah, we got Tatum, MVP race. We got Jaylen Brown. But Malcolm Brogdon, he's a guy that can average 20 points a night if he wanted to. if healthy. He can go on any other team. He can go on whatever team, start and average 20. But now he's on the Celtics, and he can give us 25 a night. He can give us, or he can just give us 15 a night, but it'll be all threes and 6 rebounds and 5 assists. That's how special he is. I love him. He's been huge. Him and Derek White have been the two guys that have really been key for this Celtics team. Is going to be key moving forward, moving on towards the playoffs. I think the 76ers have kind of been written off from a lot of people, but they've been coming on, and I think Saturday is going to be a huge game to see what happens. Not only because it's the 76ers and the Celtics, two top teams, but it's in the second half of the season now. And these are the teams that are set in stone. There's going to be no more trades. This is it. And then best believe James Harden, Joel Embiid are gonna go at it towards the Celtics. So that's what I think is gonna happen. Tell me what you guys think is gonna happen in the comments. Once this is released, we'll definitely talk about it. As far as Jason Tatum being the MVP race, he averaging 30 points, 8 rebounds, 46 percentage from the field. I think he's got a shot. I do think he's got a shot, and we'll definitely see what happens. As far as the rest of the league in the Western Conference, we'll be a fool to not talk about the trades that happened before the trade deadline, with the Suns now becoming the top team in the West, and the Brooklyn Nets now sliding under. It makes for the Eastern Conference a little bit wide margin. I saw earlier this week, Kevin Love is expected to sign with the Heat. And I know I don't like the Heat. The Heat have this thing against the Celtics. It's kind of the Heat and the Toronto Raptors that have this, I don't want to call it rivalry with the Celtics, but in some cases they do have their number. Jimmy Butler has the Celtics number. Yeah, they lost last year, but the Heat was they had to deal with injuries. They had to deal with age. Kyle Lowry was past his prime. And they still forced it to 7 games with Jimmy Butler coming down to a last-second 3 that he did not make. The game could have went that quick. The Miami Heat are a tough team, and adding Kevin Love to that, it makes them very dangerous. I'm surprised no one's really spoken about it. We can't forget the bubble. The year in the bubble where the Celtics went to the Eastern Conference Finals after going 7 games with the Raptors, which I believe is what twisted their whole playoff run. They was up 2-0 against the Raptors. OG Anunoby hit a game-winning three, and then they ended up tying the series 2-2. Then it went to 7 games. By the time they went to the Heat, they was depleted, and then the Heat just blew by them. And then the same thing happened last year with the Celtics should have won after they beat the Bucks. They should have beat the Heat by more games, but however, it didn't happen. I agree with you. I think it'll be a dogfight with Philadelphia. But I think we should beat them on Saturday, especially when it's on national television. I agree. I think it's gonna be. I mean, you agree with me? It's gonna be a dogfight. I think James Harden and Joel Embiid. I think they're tough, and it really depends on Robert Williams. And like I said before, the front court offensive scoring hasn't been on par of what I've been hoping to see from the Celtics this season. A lot of it's been the backcourt with Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Malcolm Brogdon off the bench. I was hoping to see more from Blake Griffin. I know he might be. He's not the same Blake Griffin who's catching lobs. He's not the same Blake Griffin off the pick and roll who can run the floor. Who was even in Detroit averaging 20 points. People forget that in Detroit he was averaging 20 points a night. He was shooting threes. He was getting to the rack. He was doing post moves, all that. Then he went to Brooklyn behind Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden. And then he came off the bench. He didn't really do too much. But I was hoping to see a little bit more from Blake Griffin. That's why he was here. That's why Danilo Gallinari was signed up to be here in the offseason before he got injured, because we need front scoring. I think that's going to be our downfall in the playoffs, if there is a downfall. The front court scoring, because Al Horford, he's great. He can get hot any night and shoot threes. But besides that, he's kind of a guy that, takes up space defensively, but he's not getting too many points off the dribble unless it's a pump fake and a drive to the basket. He's not making any moves. He doesn't have too much post on the block moves as much as he did years ago when he was in OKC or in the 76ers. So I love Al Horford. I love Rob Williams. But hopefully this pickup with Mike Muscala can change things. I hope it does. As a fan, I truly do. And I love Sam Hauser. He might be a little undersized. I love Grant Williams too. Grant Williams and Sam Hauser are guys that can shoot the three like crazy. And that what makes them very dangerous as well. But in the NBA today, guys need to score off the dribble. Guys need to handle. Guys need to be able to shoot the mid-range. Guys need to be able to hit free throws. Guys need to be able to catch and shoot, but guys also need to be able to dribble off a pick and shoot. And I don't think Sam Hauser, I don't think Grant Williams, I definitely don't. I know Al Horford can't do that. Obviously, Robert Williams can't do that. A lot of the big guys, Blake Griffin, we haven't really seen him. He's been dressed up on the sideline most of the time. So we can't depend too much on the backcourt of the Celtics. And I think that's as much as we've been playing very well and we're the top team in the East at 42 and 17, we can't depend too much on the backcourt, because just like last year in the playoffs, swept the Nets, cool, but we went to 7 games against the Bucks. And we went to 7 games without Middleton on the Bucks. We also went to 7 games with the Heat. So by the time we went to the Warriors, we was very tired. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown was tired. The games went to overtime. Before that, they were tired. Al Horford's a veteran. He's got tired. So many guys got tired. And Robert Williams, who knows when he was dealing with that knee injury. So there needs to be one guy to step up. I do believe that is Malcolm Brogdon, and that's why he picked him up. But I also believe that's why Danilo Gallinari was the second piece of that trade, of that pickup on the offseason to make that happen. He wasn't, and that's why they picked up Mike Muscala and Blake Griffin. But they haven't. I haven't seen too much from Mike Muscala yet to make a definitive point. However, I do think Blake Griffin was the pickup for that. To replace Danilo Gallinari. He hasn't been that yet. And one guy also on the roster who I think really is worth keeping an eye on is Payne Pritchard. Backup point guard last year, Now he's like the third, fourth string. He mentioned it earlier, a couple of games ago, saying he would like some more playing time. He wants to stay a Celtic, but he would like some more playing time, which is understandable. But when you have Malcolm Brogdon and Derek White playing the way they play, right, and Marcus Smart's back in rotation, it's going to be tough to see that. However, I think we need to see more from. He's undersized, so defensively, if he can pick it up defensively, I do think we can see some more time from that Joe Mazzulla will give him. But besides that, I think Payne Pritchard will be a bench guy, and I think in the playoffs he's going to have a key moment. Keep this file. Payne Pritchard will have a key moment in the playoffs. Can't say it's defensively or it's him hitting 5 threes in the fourth quarter. I will guarantee that Payne Pritchard will have a definitive moment in the playoffs this upcoming season, this upcoming postseason. That's all I got for the Celtics right now. And that's the first episode, folks. Once again, I'm your host, revamped host, Kevin Parrington Turner. I am so glad to be here with you guys. That is all. Like I said, again, check us out on the Celtics Talk Radio on Instagram, C3LTICS Talk Radio. YouTube, Celtics Talk Radio. Check out my blog, the Brown Bostonian. Sorry. My blog is the Brown Bostonian, where I give my takes about the Celtics. I also give my takes about the Patriots, the Red Sox, sports in general, writing wise. In real life, I am also a sports reporter for the Patriot Ledger. I'm Boston born and raised. I am a true Bostonian. Grew up in Mattapan. Went to Celtics games. Watched the Patriots my whole life. Watched Red Sox. So I am a huge Boston fan in general. And once again, guys, I am happy to be your host. I'm happy to be here. I'm so glad to get this opportunity. Thanks to William. Thanks to everyone. And it's me. And tune in next week, Monday, 10 o'clock. I'm hoping to get some people up here, some sports guys. I know some sports guys. The guys in all the Celtics Talk Radio, they know some sports guys. We're going to get some guys up here. I know some people from, television, WCBB, WLNE, from where I worked in Providence, Sports Illustrated, Globe, Herald, a bunch of people. We're going to have special episodes. We're going to try to do a bunch of different stuff as we get into the second half of this NBA season. It's going to be exciting, so stick with us. That's all I can say. See you guys next week. Thank you.